Bless up BXG Nation, welcome again to the channel. Viewers, so Dalton Harris finally come out of the classic people. The man openly said in this interview say him a gay people. But for X Factor them time they found to see the man jump across so much gay people up with all manner all up all in foot and take all picture people. Honestly, I know that from them time there. That's why Bounty Killer will have to withdraw in comment. But people don't have to listen to what me I say now. And just listen to the interview because I never me say it. I him say it and I him doing action them. So make we hear what Dalton Fishy Harris has
Alright, I'm gonna start over reading this because words are important. So, we are either judging each other and killing each other because someone is gay or black, and it's death by words and treatment. We are so creative in how we exercise hate, but we are so primitive when we stand in our fake pride that makes us even begin to think as though we are something better and something better than the next human being. I'm about sick of it. I lost any prospects of a career in my country because of supporting the right to love and speak your truth, whether it was child abuse or just bullying through anticipatory socialism. I have never felt more worthless till recently. Oh,
yeah.
I met so many horrible people in the industry as well that just dealt with me like I was the thing of the day or month to get through with minimum effort of value.
Yeah.
Now that's a lot.
Yeah.
And also, like, I just want to say, like, thank you for being so brave to even talk about this because most people are not and they need to.
Yeah. You know, I think at this point, and it's not even at this point, like I've been very self-aware for a long time. And I'm disappointed that I never had the strength earlier to kind of stand up for those that feel the same, whatever it is that your affliction is. And given what's happening now, what do I have to lose? Like, I have nothing to lose but respect for myself. And if I stay quiet, then I lose that respect for myself, you know? I'm about sick of it.
Yeah. So, like, what's your experience like with Jamaica?
My experience with Jamaica and as a Jamaican is two different things, and it's kind of like a tightrope. I have a lot of supporters there, and they're amazing. But I also know that on the backhand of that, I'm chastised widely by a large group of people because of the perception that I'm gay. Whether I was gay or weren't gay, why the fuck would it matter that you thought I deserved to die? Or the fact that I've worked so hard to create history, not only in the UK, but for my country, and to kind of be so shunned. Like, I remember when I went back home, I was hidden in the back of the airport, you know?
Wow.
You know, nobody came to greet me, but they did for other people that want American things, and they also greeted a person that was convicted for drugs. You know, this is my government, and so I felt horrible. And then, you know, I got death threats and pictures of people's necks being cut off, or somebody getting videos of people getting shot in the head, and, you know, people saying that's what I deserved. I headlined a festival there. I was supposed to perform at a festival there, which I did, but when it was announced that I was going to be on the roster, it was a wide public issue, you know, where I didn't deserve it because I'm not an artist and I'm gay and he's like a fish and a fag and all these things. And it was shocking in the sense that I understand human acceptance, but I was like, why does somebody have the idea that somebody should be subject to these kind of things? And like, it happened even in the X Factor, and that's when I made the decision to stand for love, you know, and I made sure that in my campaign and in my career and in everything that I did, I made sure to be inclusive of every single person, whatever it is. Going out autumn, I was never going to use my platform to alienate any group or sect of people, you know? And that's a problem for a lot of people. So the industry there kind of keeps me at bay, and there's lots of people that might support me, but they don't do it publicly because they don't want to answer to the people that hate me because of the perception that I'm gay, and also the fact that the child, and making sure and saying, hey, the way Jamaicans parent isn't always the best. And I've been a victim of that, and it's bullshit, and I'll stand by that 100%. You know, so me standing for the right thing kind of fucked my prospects of any career in Jamaica, you know, because I'll never get booked for a show in Jamaica because I'm too gay or too this or too that, because I'm not the quintessential black Jamaican guy, which to me is kind of messed up, because here we are in the midst of Black Lives Matter, you know, and I'm subject to a lot of things and a lot of issues because of the color of my skin as well, but I'm also subject to hate from people that look like me. So it makes me question so many things, you know, and it just makes no sense, and it never will. But I think that's what I need to use my platform for, you know. And then I haven't even gotten into my experience so far with some industry people, you know, not everybody. So this is a disclaimer for people, because a lot of people are ignorant. So disclaimer, me saying there's an issue with something doesn't mean, so if I say somebody was racist, it doesn't mean all white people are racist. It doesn't mean all people in the industry are messed up and only money grabbing people. It doesn't mean that all Jamaicans are homophobic, ignorant people. But it means that people everywhere have issues that they need to educate themselves on not having, you know?
Yeah.
Because you could lead somebody to kill themselves, you know, and you might not care. But imagine if your family member ever happened to be any one of those things that you would judge somebody for. You know, imagine if your sister or a friend of yours or you were on the receiving end, how would you feel? Apathy and empathy are very important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Apathy is very dangerous right now. Empathy, you know, has been proven.
Your internet, Autumn, your internet.
Is it? Gosh, why? Okay, I'm going to go down. It's so odd that it's going out. Is that good?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now. As long as I'm hearing you and seeing you. Sometimes you get the spinning wheel.
It's so annoying. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I was just saying apathy, you know, and empathy are really like the keys to fixing most of the world's problems right now. Yeah. And it's a shame that, like, you know, I feel like in a lot of Black cultures, African American, Caribbean cultures, you know, there is a lot of negative feelings about bisexuality, about being gay, especially if you're a male.
Yeah, and religion and toxic masculinity and women having to act and be a certain way. Like, it's a bunch of shit. And what people don't understand, like, a lot of people are tweeting and saying the Black Lives Matter things and talking about this, but do you really know the history of the very oppression that you dish out? Because bear in mind, you are taught to hate yourself, and you're hating somebody that looks just like you, thinking you're winning, and you're not. Because nobody wins when the family feuds. And what I mean is, if you treat me like I don't belong because of who you think I might be or who I am, you're not winning, brother or sister. You know what I'm saying? How I treat you, Autumn, reflects how I am. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I'd love to see or live. I'd love to experience and live to see the day where that would be. But at this rate, I know that's just a hope. You know, it's like a very slim hope.
We have so many hurdles to overcome, but honestly, like, even just little talks like this do go really far.
Yeah,
they really do. Like, even the one I did with Jocelyn, like, it's, you know, it was shared among a lot of white women, and it taught them to, like, look at themselves and have conversations they weren't having.
Yeah,
and that's kind of where we need to do. And also in the Black community, Caribbean community, like, we didn't have these conversations. I was on Facebook the other day, and a guy was just, you know, going on about he didn't like some new cartoon because it had like two guys kissing, and he was like, oh, it's going to turn my son gay. And I just ended up unfriending him, because some people I will get into discussions with, but some people it's just not going to go anywhere.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm just thinking like, okay, let's just say your son does become gay or doesn't become gay. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But like, you're not even giving him the freedom to be himself.
Yeah. You know, I think I grew up where I'm guilty of like as a child, like being 10, 11, a young teenager, saying words that are offensive. But because I was in a culture that I thought that was normal, you know, like even to bust a blank for a song that was highly offensive, whether it was to women or somebody that was gay, you know, like I grew up in a culture that you know, it procures this kind of behavior. And when I was maybe like 15, I was like, hold up, do I have an issue with this? No. And what if I'm 25, 26 December, and if at 45 I decided to change my lifestyle and be something else, or I had a child that was gay, or a daughter that liked girls, or my partner's white, have kids that have kids, when we have kids that are mixed, how does it make sense? Like, I work with so many people from so many different backgrounds. Like, the world is built on people from all kinds of places and corners of the world. Why is it important for me to let you know how much I hate you because of who you are, when who you are doesn't affect the quality of life that somebody else lives? You know? There are people that speak about killing people in music. There are people that speak about women being nothing but slaves. There are people that speak about how much money they have and how they'll use it to do dumb stuff. Like, find something to quarrel and make a fuss about that makes sense for a greater good. You know? It's all bullshit to me. And working on cruise ships and traveling the world and leaving Jamaica and living in America for a while taught me a lot, you know. It taught me, especially cruise ships, because you meet every kind of person on there. And I was subject to racism the entire 3 years, but I always had a smile on my face because I was like, this is so cool. I get to meet people. There's this asshole that's racist to me, but he's dumb, but we'll get to that. But look at these cool people, you know. And I just thought he was defective, because if I didn't have an issue with somebody that looked different from me or lived different from me, if you don't harm somebody, hurt somebody, deteriorate somebody's perception of themselves, I love you. You know, like, so when I feel insecure every day of my life because I'm black, just period. And I don't just say that because Black Lives Matter now when it's a popular thing. This has been, you know, what I've been about, because I've been subject to it. You know, I lived in America where my sister would be afraid for me because she knew that as an immigrant, if I was stopped by the cops, and I'm smart, so, and I know my rights and I stand up for what I believe in, whether I'm popular or somebody's looking or not. So if a cop were to stop me and try to intimidate me, I'm going to tell you, you know, you're stupid. Or,
can't do that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I always stand up for myself, and I always say, if I was born in the era of slavery, I'd be the first one they killed, you know, period, you know. And she was always afraid for me, and then I realized that I had to learn to be afraid for myself, because I was smiling thinking I'm just a human being, but I realized through other people's actions that I was black.
Do you feel the